HEAL Study Level Metadata, Part 1. Why metadata are important and finding your study metadata form. Thanks for joining us to learn more about the importance of metadata for increasing the visibility of your HEAL study and how you can maximize this benefit by completing your HEAL metadata form. This tutorial is intended to assist after you have registered your study. If you have not yet registered your study, we encourage you to watch the first 2 tutorials demonstrating the registration process before you continue with this one. These are linked in the video description below and available at bit.ly/HealStewardsYouTube. What are metadata, and why should I care about the metadata for my study? Metadata are data that provides information about your study data. For example, let's say I'm doing a study investigating the efficacy of my new pain relief option compared to standard practice. My study data are the information for each individual subject, the metrics of pain relief for each subject, whether they received the experimental treatment or standard of care, the demographic details for each subject, and other relevant personal details, such as whether they are a redhead or have a history of opioid dependence. Some of these data are shown here. My metadata describe these data. Data dictionaries, also called variable level metadata, describe the variables in the dataset, explaining what is being studied. For example, demographic fields and options, history of opioid dependence, and redhead status. Study-level metadata describe the study overall. It includes things like the study's name, description, grant number, and investigators. It also includes information like what repository the data will be stored in, whether the study is a clinical trial, and that my study subjects include both children and adults. This metadata allows you and other researchers to do a basic search on the HEAL platform to find studies with particular characteristics. We will be focusing on study-level metadata for this tutorial, but we will just call it metadata. Metadata harmonization makes it easy to search and compare the characteristics of study data. The best metadata will use descriptive terminology that harmonizes with the metadata used in other studies, so it's easy to search and compare the characteristics of study data between studies. For example, all of these 4 studies used a similar subject population. However, each uses a different term to describe the population. If you wanted to find studies with a neonate population, it would be difficult to identify all of these in a simple search. Metadata harmonization unifies the terminology to infant, newborn, birth to 1 month. So a search within the HEAL platform could specify this population and pull out all 4 studies. High-quality harmonized metadata help researchers make their data fair, findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. As a scientist, you want your data to have maximum impact. Quality metadata makes it easier for other researchers to find your data, citing and using it for future research. Good metadata drive visibility of your hard work and increase your scientific impact. Now that we understand why metadata are important, let's talk about the role CEDAR plays in helping you share your metadata for HEAL studies. How does CEDAR help with metadata? HEAL created the templated form in CEDAR to guide you in entering your metadata so it's harmonized using a universal terminology set. The HEAL data platform automatically brings the metadata you entered from the CEDAR form into the platform and associates the metadata with your registered study on the HEAL platform. Everyone can then search on the platform for studies with particular metadata characteristics. Using the CEDAR site. You already registered for a CEDAR account with this link here before you registered your study, so go ahead and log in. Where can I find the metadata form for my study? When you submitted the form to register your study, it triggered the creation of a metadata input form in your CEDAR account. This is the form we want to find and complete. To get to this form, go to the Shared with Me tab in the left navigation menu. Look toward the bottom to see a section named Filter. If you see a Reset All link, click it. If you do not see it, you are set. The metadata form will be one of the tiles with a tag icon in the upper left corner. There may be more than one of these tiles if you have registered more than one study or if you're collaborating on other metadata forms. If you hover the mouse over the tile, you will see the study title so you can confirm you're choosing the correct form. You can double-click to open and begin entering your metadata. Be sure to save your changes. Can I collaborate with others to complete this form? You can share this form with others if you want multiple people to be able to see and/or complete the form. Although only one person can register a study on the platform, many people can be added as collaborators to complete and/or review the metadata form. Each collaborator needs a CEDAR account. To create an account, visit cedar.metadatacenter.org and click Register below the password line. To share the form, find the tile for the study metadata form on the CEDAR site. Click on the vertical 3 dots in the upper right corner of the tile. Select Share. Enter a collaborator's name and click on the correct name in the drop-down, which should appear as you type. Note, type the name your collaborator used to register on the CEDAR site. To the right of the name field, click on the Edit Pencil icon to select whether the new collaborator has read-only access or read and write access. If you want the collaborator to help add metadata to the form, be sure to give them write access. Click OK to save your selection. Click Done to complete the sharing. The panel on the right shows the current collaborators for this study. You can remove a collaborator after they leave the team by clicking on the X. In part 1 of this video series on completing the metadata form, we have shown you why completing the metadata form is important, how to find the metadata form, and how to share the metadata form. If you still have questions, you can reach out to us at heal-support@datacommons.io. Please check out the resources we have linked in the video description, including a link to the guidance document for completing the metadata form at bit.ly/heal-cedar, links to previous metadata webinars, including Metadata 101, Adding Value to HEAL Data, and Metadata 102, Empowering Search on the HEAL Platform, and assorted metadata sources at www.healdatafair.org/resources/metadata. In part 2 of this series, we will review some key tips and guidelines for how to complete the metadata form. Keep watching.